welcome to my channel. My name is Joy Elizabeth, and if you've been along with this journey for any amount of time and you're here to see the shed, I am setting up my craft work desk. So the first thing that I need to do is put together all of these Ikea units, and then we can use these units to actually create the desk that I'm building. So my husband and I, a few months ago, took a trip down to Florida to our local Ikea, I guess is over an hour away. But we were able to pick up these units. So I have an 8-cube calyx unit, and then I have two of the 2-cube calyx units. So that is what I am using to build my craft desk today. So I'm just kind of bringing you along and letting you kind of watch us put it together. So the first thing that we've got to do is assemble the Ikea furniture. So my husband and I are going to get to that, and then I will show you what the next step is going to be. All right, y'all, so the Ikea units, the calyx units are put together. And so this is what this is like the configuration that I'm liking. And we are gonna put it on wheels so I can have it either sticking out this way or I can push it against the wall. However, but then I also just liked having this cutout here to be able to push a chair in. And if I'm sitting, I'll have like a place to put my legs or whatever. And then also for the cubes, which I have not put together yet, I do have 2 door cubes and then 2 of the drawer cubes. So I will, after we've kind of like finished making this into an actual table, I will assemble those and pop those in. But we are going to show you all how we're going to attach the wheels, how we're going to attach these together, and then the last thing we'll do is put the tabletop on. Probably not today, but for you it'll be real quick in this video. Okay, so it is next day and it's raining outside, so hopefully that sound of the rain isn't too much on this video. So what we went ahead and did is we bought this 3/4 inch, is it 3/4 inch? How thick is this wood?
939, let me look up this one.
Half an inch?
Sure.
So I think it's like a half an inch plywood. If it's different, I will put it in the screen. This is actually going to be the bottom, the base of this working table. It's going to be like a cutting table. I keep calling it a desk, but really it's going to be more like my work table, my cutting table, and that kind of thing. So we are going to cut this down to the size of that U shape for the bottom of these cube units. And then we went ahead and went to Harbor Freight and got these 3-inch wheels. So these are what we have, 6 of them, and they're going to go in each corner and then like 1 in the middle. So that's what that's going to be. And then for the table, for the top of the table, we just went ahead and got these 1 by 6-inch boards. My husband's helping me and holding this. They are wet because it's been raining, so I've got to dry these off. And we are just going to assemble this whole thing. So I will pop in some clips of us putting it together and stop and explain things as I need to. All right, so basically all we did there was cut off the excess of the plywood that we didn't need. And now my husband's gonna come in here and cut out this basically U-shape, but if you didn't want to cut out this U-shape, I would just get two 8x8 cubes, and then just do two straight cubes, and then this would be your base, and you wouldn't need to cut out this middle part. But my husband's gonna cut this out for me. All right, so we have the base done. The next thing we are going to do is assemble the top. Now, I know like most people are using like a countertop or a laminate top, but you know that I love my wood tabletops. Also, remember, this is something I'm gonna be using as a photo backdrop. So I really wanted to have that wood table, and I want it to match my other desk that my husband and I built. So we went ahead and got these. They're 1x6 boards, 12 feet long, and we're going to cut them down to size so that instead of just 3 boards, obviously it's going to be 6 wide. Is that what we're doing, babe? 6 wide. So yeah, this is going to be the tabletop, and then it just ended up being exactly what I wanted, and actually a much more affordable option than trying to find another option for a top. So my husband is just cutting these boards pretty much in half, and then we're laying them out, and he's getting them ready to do pocket holes. And so that's how we attach them together. He uses pocket hole drill. We just drilled the holes all on one side of each board. He even let me try. I only did one, but I did a good job. And then he's just screwing them together, and then after that, I went ahead inside and put the units onto the base. And then once I had them where we wanted them, I actually just used the existing holes on the bottom that would have been for anchors, and we just screwed straight through those holes into the base. So there were holes on all 3 of the units in the back side, so we just made sure that those all were in the middle and just screwed them straight down to the base. And then we're just trying the tabletop on to see how it fits and if we got our dimensions correct, and I think it looks amazing. I'm so excited. But then I got to bring it back outside, sand it down, get it ready, stain it. So there I am, sanding away. It was not perfect by any means. It was just cheap pine wood, so there was a ton of sanding to be done. Yay, it's all finished. Well, mostly finished. I still have a few things that I want to add into the cubbies, but as far as like the functionality of this work table, it is finished. So we did go with the standing height, and I was really unsure of how I would feel about a standing height desk. But just a little bit of time that it's been in here, and I've been kind of moving things in and kind of bringing things to the table as I'm moving things in. I've really been enjoying this height for this table, so I'm really excited about that. And then for the tabletop, you'll see that we added these risers, and these do adjust, and then we just use like Velcro because they screw into the table, but they don't screw into the bottom here. So we just use like a Velcro method so it can like come off if it needed to, but it's stable enough that like it can move just fine. So, and then that's gonna give me some space to also store rulers and the cutting mat and that kind of thing. So I'm really excited about that. And then as far as the tabletop, because we didn't use wood glue, and I would recommend using wood glue and screws if you're gonna make your tabletop, but because we skipped that step, the integrity of the tabletop was not very secure. So we did go ahead and screw on the bottom, like some scrap boards you'll see in this clip that I'm putting in here. So that did the trick in just reinforcing this tabletop, and it made it very secure. It's not going anywhere, it's not moving. And then for the top, I did stain it with the Early American stain, the same stain that I've kind of used everywhere else in the shed on the trim, and then like 3 or 4 coats of that polyurethane. And I really like that rub-on one because it's just really easy to apply. So that is the build as far as the tabletop and the Ikea units. But I'm really excited to show you what I found for these cubbies. So let me show you that next. Okay, really quick. This is what will be the front of the table when I'm working on it. So like this will be the side that I'm working from the most. So I went ahead and added the Ikea drawer units to the top of both of these cubbies because I figure that's where I'm going to put all the things that I'm always running around the room looking for. You know, tape and scissors and like all the things that I need quick grabs, right? And then I was kind of playing with some cardboard, trying to figure out, okay, I want to put my stabilizer where I can grab quick, right? So I kind of played with this, and I couldn't actually find a unit like this, but I did find the X insert. I've ordered it. It's not here yet. And then I'll pop in a clip if I do get it before I post this video. But I'm kind of thinking I'm going to put my stabilizers down there. Okay, and then on the other side, I was thinking of doing the same thing for all of my glitter HGV. So I'll either leave it in a tote. I kind of have it like in a plastic tote, like one of those, or I will put another X unit on that side. So that's what I'm thinking for the front. Originally, I had the doors, the Ikea doors, and I'll show you where I put those. Okay, so I did move my L-shaped desk in here. And this is an older Ikea unit that I've had for a long time. It's always been on the bottom of this desk. But I ended up putting the doors on this unit instead. There's nothing in them yet. Because these inserts have a back to it, which actually makes it so that my bins won't fit. Let me show you. Okay, so these are the bins that I like to keep on these shelves. They fit perfectly. I get them from Walmart. They're just the clear shoe bins. The problem is with the insert, they're not going to close all the way. They just don't quite fit because of that back. So let me show you the solution that I came up with. All right, so I'm actually going to move my table and you'll see how easy it rolls. Amazing. Okay, so all right, so I placed it here so y'all can see better. So the bins are still very organized and they look great, and some people might like the look of the bins, and I don't mind them, but they're just not, to me, they're just not very cute and appealing. So what I found was I went on Amazon and I found these doors that look, when you have them installed, they're gonna look like those baskets that are like super expensive. Well, really, every insert that I found for these things are kind of pricey. The doors from Ikea are $20, I think, around $20 or $24 each. And they had that back. So, I mean, I still like them. I'm gonna use them over there. But these do not have a back. It is just the door. They do stick on with an adhesive. So, I mean, the Ikea ones obviously are gonna screw in. These ones are gonna stick on with an adhesive. So we'll see. We'll see how they do over time. But I'm very excited to pop these on and just see. Like, I really do think that this is more aesthetically the look that I am going to want. And then also I like that I can access them from both sides. Like, for instance, this is my scrap stabilizer, and I do want to access it from the other side, but then like I wouldn't want to put a unit with a back because then you just have like a random blank cube there, and there's still a little space here. I mean, but then this way I can still access it from both sides. If I was standing on the other side or I had my table flipped around, there's just, to me, there's a lot of benefits of not having a back to these cubes, right? So anyway, so I like this solution a lot. I like the way it looks. I like the way it's gonna function for me. And then they come in packs of 4. I want to say they were $37 for a pack of 4. $37 for 4, or from Ikea, $20 each. So these are definitely, they're not like extremely cheaper. I think overall I saved 20 or 30 bucks for all 8 cubbies. But saving is saving no matter where it is, right? So let me go ahead and get some of these installed, and we're gonna see how they look and how they function. They do have like a little magnet closure. So I'm really excited about this find, and I'll make sure that I have it linked for you so that you can get them too, because like who in their craft room doesn't have a Calyx unit? Everybody has Calyx units. They're affordable, they're great storage, there's so much that you can do with them. So let's get these installed. Okay, so it comes with this really sticky adhesive. Now that might be the downside to these doors, is you are putting a sticky adhesive on your Calyx unit. So if you ever wanted to remove it, you'd have to use some Goo Gone or something, and it is sticky, let me tell you. It is definitely gonna stay on there. But all you do is put this on, peel this off, and then stick it in the cube, and it has 2 sides. So you do the adhesive on both sides. The benefit is if you're not really good with tools, anybody can do this. It is sticky. All right, so then you peel. Peel the plastic off. And then these are ready to stick in the cube. Then you just get it lined up straight how you want it to be and stick it on. Same thing with the other side. And then it did come with these magnets that literally just like magnetized to the door. And I'm not even sure if they're fully necessary. I mean, the door does push in too far, but really it has kind of a good little stick. Like it fits in snug enough. I'm not really sure that I'm going to use these right now. I might install them later. They do have a screw, and I think it's optional whether you want to use the sticky adhesive or the screws. So I'm not really sure how I want to use the magnets or if I want to use them, but right now I am just so happy with how these look. I love these wicker doors so much. Oh my goodness. It just completely elevated the look of this table. So again, super functional. Can still access, like that's my stabilizer, my scrap stabilizer, and I can still access it from both sides. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited to get in here and start using this table. Like I said, I might do like a little unit in there for my rolls of stabilizer, but oh my goodness. The only other thing I might add is either a pegboard on the side, or a while back, they're pretty dusty because I've had them and never installed them anywhere, but I got these from Ikea. So I don't know. They have hooks too that go with them. So I have 2 of those. I might install those on the side, maybe on this side, and like a pegboard on the other side maybe, but yeah, that is the work table. So absolutely in love with it. All right, so that is the completed table. Thank you so much for joining me in watching how my husband and I built this table. I hope that you found it helpful. And if you are interested in building your own Kallax unit work desk, do it. You're not gonna regret it. There's so many different variations. There's so many different ways to customize it and make it your own. I put a lot of thought into this table and how I wanted it to function in my space, the size that I wanted it to be. Just even like from the top, a lot of people don't do a wooden top like this. You can customize it in so many different ways. You can use so many different size Kallax units. You don't have to go with the 8 cube. You could go with like 2 4 cubes or 2 6 cubes, or however you want to make it fit and work in your space. You're not going to regret it. I can't wait to start working on this table and just all of the functionality that it's going to bring to my work life. So thank you all for following along. I will see y'all in the next video.